Hey everybody, I started using Unreal Engine in the fall of 2019, and since then I've worked on quite a bit of projects, including releasing my first 2 games. Learning how to develop games has been one of the most rewarding things I've ever done, but it's also incredibly challenging. So I wanted to take what I had learned so far in Unreal Engine and apply it to a smaller project. Then I had an idea. What if I took one of my all-time favorite games and remade it in Unreal Engine? Well, not the entire game, but a level. An iconic level from one of the greatest JRPGs of all time, The End of Time from Chrono Trigger. Chrono Trigger is a JRPG that was released for the Super Nintendo in 1995. In this game, you play as Chrono, who meets a princess disguised as a citizen at the Millennial Fair. No, this isn't a festival for a bunch of millennials, but a fair that occurs once every millennium. This princess gets sucked into a time warp when your inventor friend Luca tries an experiment on the princess that goes horribly wrong. Throughout the game, you travel to different eras in time while gaining party members and trying to stop the inevitable end of the world. I can remember going to Blockbuster as a small child and renting this game, and what I experienced blew my mind. Chrono Trigger was way ahead of its time when it came out. The story, music, and artwork were all top-notch compared to other games at the time. There were also many aspects of Chrono Trigger that separated it from other JRPGs, such as the battle system, the multiple endings, and it was the first ever game to offer a new Game Plus option. This is where you could go back through and play the game with your leveled up characters. One of the most iconic levels in the game is the End of Time level. The End of Time is kind of like a home base in the game. Your party can visit it to replenish their health, train their skills in battle, and travel to different eras. This level in the game is described as being a place where all lost travelers end up. Now that I had my idea, it was time to plan my attack. Since I'm not a 3D artist, I planned on using assets I had obtained over time from the Unreal Marketplace. As you can imagine, using pre-made assets has its pros and cons. There are a lot of high-quality 3D models and materials available, but you can't always find exactly what you're looking for. I knew in order to recreate the level accurately and to have a consistent-looking art style, I would have to do quite a bit of tweaking and possibly learn how to 3D model some things. With my plan in order, I was ready to dive in. Before I started designing, I needed a good overview of the actual map in the game. I found this awesome website that had tons of maps from SNES games and was able to grab what I needed. I began with some basic shapes just to get the layout and sizing of the level. I found this really nice Stylized Village asset on the marketplace that I felt was the perfect art style to use for this project. While I would be combining several different asset packs together, I wanted to stay as close as possible to the look of the Stylized Village. Because I didn't have a bridge model that matched the look of the original bridge in the game, I attempted to build the bridge using the stylized assets. My first attempt wasn't so good, so I plan to revisit this later on. I pieced together a couple of different assets to make the street lamp. I ended up using a different mesh for the pole that I had modified in the final version. For the fence, I started using one of the fences that I had used in my game Henry's Day. I changed the color to gold to match the original color from Chrono Trigger. But I felt like the fence didn't fit with the other models and sort of broke the immersion of the scene. I plan to revisit this later on. Adding the teleports was pretty simple. This was another nice asset from the marketplace that I was able to customize to get close to the original look of Chrono Trigger. Even though the rotating circles on the teleports were not part of the original game, I really liked the mystical appearance they had, so I kept them in there. Because of the unique look of the fence in the original game, I determined that the only way to get close to that look was to design it myself. Fortunately, I was able to use the shape meshes in Unreal Engine for the poles of the fence. Unfortunately, there wasn't really a way for me to recreate that S shape on the fence in Unreal Engine. This led me to looking up some Blender tutorials and attempting to model it myself. Although I've never 3D modeled anything before, I felt like this turned out pretty good. Making a custom fence also allowed me the freedom to modify it to the stairs, which was something I couldn't do using the pre-made asset. The arch and columns for the door was another element that I determined would need to be custom designed. I had several different pre-made models for columns and arches, but nothing that really fit with the style of the environment I had already created. In my search for the models, I did find a nice sky sphere from one of the asset packs I had already owned, and I really liked the look of it. With the help of another tutorial, I was able to design the arch over the door using Blender. Although my version is simple, I feel like it fits with the overall environment. The level was shaping up nicely, but I still needed to create a bridge that at least looked like it belonged. I found some loose brick meshes in the Stylized Village pack I was using and thought maybe I could use these to make a bridge. I created a simple outline in Illustrator and tried to use it as a guide in Unreal Engine when building the bridge. I quickly realized this method was not going to work and would have been incredibly time-consuming had I continued. I went back through the folders in the Stylized Village pack and found some other meshes that I could use to try and build the bridge with. Overall, I think this bridge works. While it's a bit different from the original game, it uses the same art style that I was designing with and doesn't break the immersion. Now it was time for some minor touch-ups. This included editing some textures in Photoshop, adding post-processing and reflection captures, and customizing the lighting. All right, everybody, now it's time for the reveal. I also tested my level in VR and it was awesome. To be able to walk around in the end of time from Chrono Trigger, the 5-year-old self in me is freaking out right now. Okay everybody, thanks for watching. I've included the links in the description to all of the assets that I used in making this level. If you guys enjoyed the video, please let me know in the comments or like the video. I am definitely wanting to do more of this in the future. Thanks again everyone, and I'll catch you later.